Well, good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV. I am Executive Director of Wisconsin Voices, David Bowen, and we are missing our partner in good, Brian Sanders, today. Brian, enjoy your day off. Yesterday was official holiday as Indigenous Peoples Day, and we make sure that we call it Indigenous Peoples Day, not Columbus Day. That was one of the bills that I actually worked on when I was in the state legislature so that we could make it official. Couldn't get consensus on there in the House at that point, but unfortunately, fortunately, there were a lot of young people, especially from um, Indian Community School, that stepped up to make sure that they were represented and that they were stepping up to educate their community and their peers around the importance of Indigenous Peoples Day. So, you know, uh, one monkey don't stop no show. That's what they say. Um, so as we come to this Tuesday, this is day 14 of the shutdown. We know for a fact the effects of what is about to happen even further, a more of a strain on federal workers. I had a chance to meet a federal worker, stop by uh, Bless Hands Car Wash right there on Fond du Lac. Shouts out to the owner, Ernest. Really good brother in the community. So I had a chance to talk to a TSA agent, and she loves her job. She loves engaging people. Hates the fact that we have to go through this shutdown right now. And it really speaks volumes when you have dedicated civil servants where, you know, politics means nothing to them because it's about serving people at the end of the day. And that's what they put first and foremost in all that they do. And the president of the United States, unfortunately, right now is saying he's only going to stand up for certain workers or certain. He believed there are certain departments that can be Democrat departments, quote unquote. So that we all know that's not true. Republicans and Democrats and independents all rely on different sections of the federal government. So we're in day 14. At this point, there's no end in sight. And they possibly could see disruptions in food assistance, people getting access to the resources that they rely on. And then the question becomes how long? How long can right now it seems that Republicans are, and people believe it in polling, that Republicans are to blame for this shutdown. How long can they go before they finally come to the table, negotiate, and open things back up so we can move on, so that we can address the other things that need to be addressed? And I know in the House, Speaker Mike Johnson has put off again for another week, bringing back members of the House. So that's what you don't want to do. You know, you continuously expect everybody else to show up to do their jobs, but you are not allowing members of the House to show up to do their jobs. So another topic, the local level, Milwaukee County and the city of Milwaukee are deliberating their local budgets. That is in full swing right now. And a lot of decisions to be made. Definitely want everyone out there to please be engaged, please be involved in your local budget engagement process. Have your voice heard. And at Wisconsin Voices, we will be doing our part to make sure that we highlight the importance of being engaged in this budget process. So look out for some things on that. Big shouts out to the African American Roundtable. They had a big win around participatory budgeting. So big shouts out to Marquesa and her team there. They are doing great work, and I know that they will have folks involved in dispersing or making a decision on $600,000 in funding, and how that can help go out and help the community. So those are most of the bones I had to pick today, with the federal government shutdown, and then not a bone to pick on the other side. It really was lifting up good work and making sure that people involved in the studio. I have a great guest. This brother, I knew it was serious when I was at the point where I was a state representative. We were creating uh, a, a resolution for Black History Month, and we put names and we highlight names of folks in the community, folks from Wisconsin that make an impact, and especially representing the Black community. And this brother's name was on that list, and it irked them that his name was on the list. They did not want to pass this resolution with his name on the list. And I tried to figure out, like, okay, what could he do that would be so bad that he really is getting under their skin? And I said, oh yeah, he's helping to get people to vote. He's helping to build political power for Black communities. And Reverend Lewis is a legend in his own right. He is the director of Souls to the Polls.
Yes, sir.
And I mean, co-founder of so many other organizations over the time, that, like, he's a creator. He really is a creator. But we got the man of God in the studio today. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my man.
We go back.
Yeah, we do go back, man.
It might even be before I was ever elected.
It was.
Yeah. I was a teenager running around.
That's
here.
Right. That's right, man.
Absolutely.
I saw you grow, and now I just want to congratulate you on your new role.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate constant voice, man. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, the right man is in place. I've always told you, what I thought about you, how talented that I know you are, and just stay tuned, man. I ain't gonna be director of Souls to the Polls, forever, not too much longer. As a matter of fact, I got to move around too, man. We're gonna need a replacement.
I heard that, but you know what though? Ever since you grew these locks, you've been looking younger and younger. So I don't know. You might not be called to retire yet. Even if you do retire, you're not gonna slow down.
Well, no, I'm
you're
not
always
gonna
do
retire.
something. You're always gonna do something.
My next 67 years gonna be my best years.
There you go.
I'm just
there you go.
I'm thinking that an influx of new energy is certainly
it is
appropriate, man. I've been hearing this is the Joshua time, man. It's time for young folks to take the mantle and move forward, man. And we got to trust and believe in them, and I do, because they're so talented. But us older people, we still have to, get a benefit of our wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of this life. But it's time for younger folks to, really take the mantle. It really is. I mean, man, David, I got to be honest. I don't have the energy I used to have, So, but I still got a lot of energy. But it's amazing to see how brilliant our young people are. They just need opportunity to show it, and I certainly want to be a part of that, So congratulations, man. I don't know how they got you to do that, but they are so fortunate to have you, man. I just really believe that great things are going to happen for the organization, especially here where you're the executive director. I believe that. I know it. And I know your talent level, and it's time for you to go ahead and move. It ain't nothing. Like Nike say, just do it. Man.
I'm really time. Yeah,
I'm really encouraged by you being in place that way, because you've done a lot of things, man. As a young man, you've done a lot of things. So now it's just time to dial up, man. This is your opportunity to really, put your vision into place where it will be doing a whole lot of good work.
Absolutely. I'm really thankful to hear that. You have been a leader among most in this community, and you have made such an impact. So to hear that from, I call them the legends, the titans that do this work, That really brings my heart joy and reminds me of the just the weight that is that we all must bear in moments like this where this is what we're called to do. We have to step up for this moment, and I'm thankful that I'm in position to be able to contribute and impact. I feel like I'm getting back to my grassroots. I keep telling people that.
Yeah, now
Um,
you could take us to the next level.
we got a
Next
chance.
level,
We
man.
got a chance. Yeah.
Really, I mean that.
Yeah. So I'm really excited because Souls to the Polls, y'all been striking fears in people's hearts for quite some time because the work that you guys do is so important and impactful. Uh, some folks on the other side, I guess, if they're not happy about what you do, it's because you're too effective. It's because you're too good.
Yeah,
Uh,
I want to think that.
yeah.
I hope they're not hating for nothing.
I know that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, but just this work is so challenging,
Mm.
man. But
It is.
I got folks who work with me hard who are dynamic. The legendary Bruce Colburn,
That's right.
man. He's
That's right.
wow. I think he's the greatest organizer I ever knew, I ever met.
Mm.
And I'm just really honored to be in such close relationship with him, and
Mhm.
and then the rest of our group, man. We are certainly a a force to be reckoned with, because having folks who can really think things through, think out the box,
Mhm.
it's so important now, man,
Yeah.
because the same old things aren't working anymore. As
That's
a
right.
matter of fact, man, I wish I could find some young person to really, put something in our heads, man. And when I say our heads, I mean
Mhm.
all of us,
Mhm.
to show us what do we need to get you to understand your power and help you move forward, because you come from an organization
Mhm. Yep.
that has developed leaders like crazy.
That's right.
What's the name of that
That
organization?
that was Urban Underground. That
Huh?
was Urban
Yeah, we've
Underground.
been working with
Yeah.
Urban Underground since I can remember. We've
Yeah.
always gone to Urban Underground to get young people to get involved, and make sure that people who are those ages between 18 and 35,
Yep.
something like that, that they understand that the power is right there for them. All they have to do is just grab it. And we can do fantastic things in this town. We 40%, 41, 42% of this city, man.
Mhm. That's right.
And then the Hispanic community makes up another 18, 19%.
That's right.
But we so busy arguing with one another
My
that we
goodness.
won't bring it together
Mm.
and make something happen. And then we get stuff like what's happening right now,
That's right.
because we wouldn't, band together, stay together, and put people in place who will look out for our interests.
Mhm.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And you talk about um I know that you guys have done some work engaging young people in this work.
Yeah.
Reminding them of their power, of their the impact they can make with their votes, uh, with their resource, with their energy. Just give us a sense of how you guys have been engaging young people recently.
Yeah. Well, first I want to congratulate Marquesa. Is it Marquesa?
Marquesa, yeah,
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 Marquesa, man. See, that's fabulous work.
that's right.
Man, I want to really thank her for what she does, because everybody, see, we can't do everything.
That's right.
She's in a rhythm right now that's really, man, it's going to be a hit record. She is really making music right now,
Mm.
man. And she just has to stay in a rhythm, and make sure that she doesn't let people get her off her square,
Mm.
because when you get in that kind of rhythm that she's in, you certainly have to maintain it. And it has to
Mhm.
get louder and louder and louder. And she is doing a fantastic job. And I honor that kind of work. We first of all, what we've been trying to do is work with MATC. Really try to get young folks to engage.
Mhm.
We put lots of money in MATC and leadership, just trying to make sure that, we get on that campus that's probably downtown, probably about 85, 90% Black,
Yeah,
minority, let's say.
that's right.
But I don't like using that word minority because we really aren't minorities.
But not a minority in this city.
Yeah, we're not a minority in the
And at
world,
all.
you know, because the world is I think like about 80% people of color,
Mm,
86% people of color,
mm.
but we believe that we're minorities. Man, how did we get bamboozled like that?
Right,
You know,
right.
I guess television, radio, all these things, you know, all you see is uh, uh, those faces that are not ours,
Mm.
you know, but it's getting better, but it's not nearly what it ought to be.
Right,
Not
that representation.
nearly,
Yeah.
not nearly. But yeah, we working with MATC and working with young people. Man, we tried to give about 3 concerts with rappers coming into town,
Mm.
paid lots of money
Okay.
just to see if they would come and help us get the message out to young people that you really need to be involved because this is your country and your future is at stake and our future is at stake. We need young people to do the kind of work that needs to be done
Mm-hmm.
for people to finally understand that, listen, you can't let 1% of the world control the other 99% of the people. You know, 1% of the world has more resources
Mm-hmm.
than 95% of the rest of the world, man.
Mm.
So we keep thinking that this is about black and white. No, this is about economics, man.
Mm.
You know, race is a race to the resources.
That's right.
This is about money. People need to understand that. And when the people with the money don't want you to put your hands on it, they make sure that you stay, how can I put it, distracted
That's right.
so that you don't try to challenge them and their resources.
Mm.
And it's been done well in this world for a long, long time. But it's time for people to stop believing that you know we're less than. It's time for that to stop and start managing ourselves in a way that everybody can have a understanding of this world, the resources that are available, and have a share in it.
Mm-hmm.
And it won't happen if we continue to battle one another.
That's right.
You know, just like in this town, you know, black and brown people aren't getting along not nearly as well as they ought to, because they ought to have power. As a matter of fact, you know, we're fighting for the same crumbs. Why other people are running off with all the money. They laughing right to the bank.
To the bank.
And here we are, you know, we still fighting over, you know, how we look. You know, how could you tell if I'm different if I wasn't a different color? If I was the same color as you couldn't tell I was different. What am I saying? We all got the same issues, the same problems.
Mm-hmm.
We got housing problems. We got food problems. Man, we have the same issues, but we are just fighting one another while somebody else is making decisions for us who really, at many points in our lives, we should understand they don't mean us any good.
Mm. I think that's really powerful. I know that you guys have had a presence on MATC for quite some time. And,
yes.
You know, one of the focuses that we have at Wisconsin Voices is what we could do more to reach out to opportunity youth, those young people that are not on your traditional college campus. They might end up going for technical training or a technical degree. But most of them go to the workforce right away, right after high school. So it very much is a lot of promise in that work. And trying to be where young people are is really important. And the fact that you guys are using young people to reach young people is really important. Really a big part of what's effective. Sometimes, and it's so funny, I haven't been around young people every day since those days I first met you at Urban Underground, but you being around young people like that will like expose you to just like what is young, what is cool, you know, what's going on. And when you're not immersed in that, it's like, yeah, I need to find someone of that generation that can connect with that generation. So that's really powerful. I do know that there are some really big things happening right now. You guys just had a rally last weekend. You want to give a highlight of the rally? And you have a really good team. You got Davina, you got some folk working with you.
Man,
that are holding it down. Yeah.
Wow, man. It's we are so fortunate, man. And but we were at 310 West Wisconsin, the big blue building.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's still the federal building, but we thought it was. Let's go to the federal building. So they still have federal offices in there. So we were there.
They do.
And we talked about, this fight for health care.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people, and I'm glad you're giving me this opportunity to talk about this, because a lot of people don't understand why the government is shut down right now.
Right.
The government is shut down because the Republican Party, and I want to preface this with this: I'm not a Democrat or a Republican.
Give a disclaimer, please.
Yeah, I'm not. But I just believe in what's right. The Republican Party is attempting to remove those premium tax credits from the Affordable Care Act. We call it Obamacare. It's got lots of names.
Right.
But the Democratic Party is saying, if you do that, it will destroy so many people's lives. The insurance premiums could rise 200%.
Yeah.
You're already paying a bunch of money for insurance every month. $300 a month is a lot of money for somebody to pay for insurance. But just think if you had to pay $3,000 a month, that kind of nonsense is about to occur.
Yeah.
And so the Democrats are trying to hold fast. They're saying, listen, if we don't hold fast, and if we don't get an agreement about you keeping these tax credits in place, the Affordable Care Act won't be affordable for anybody. It will not be anything that people can stay with. And not only that, but other health insurance coverages would increase.
That's right.
And everybody would really be spending, should I buy some food or should I pay my health insurance? And people don't understand that. The government shutdown is serious. But you got to understand that, man, if we don't do something about that, it's going to be a problem.
I'm glad you highlighted that. We're almost at our break time to be able to shift gears here. But shout out why it was so passionate, because I know you got to make a decision, right, based on your capacity of your organization, your team. And it was like, we got to do this right now. Just talk about how you guys came to the conclusion and the folks that came together on that Saturday.
Yeah, well, because 2 Saturdays ago, we had 300 leaders in a room, and we said, we got to do something, and we got to constantly do something. We're not stopping there, David. We got to do something to make sure that people understand, first of all, that there's what's going on, and second of all, that you could do something about it. And we can't sit around and just wait and just get steamrolled over.
That's right,
man. So we said, let's do it now. And it was kind of rush kind of thing, but the urgency of now is here.
That's right. That's right. Very powerful. I got Reverend Lewis in the studio. You're listening to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV. We're going to take a break and we'll be right back.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. As Christian nationalism rises to new prominence during President Donald Trump's second term, some faith leaders are warning that religion is being misused for political power. One of them is Reverend Quadricus Driscoll, pastor of Beulah Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia, and a lecturer at the George Washington University. He says the Black church must respond to the moment, not by retreating, but by reclaiming its prophetic voice.
We need, in this current age where authoritarianism is rampant, in my opinion, where, again, Christian nationalism is using the language of Christianity and scriptures to cloak and for political power and political gain. I think we need more Black churches to really rally their voices in solidarity with other racialized faith communities.
For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
Here's your updated forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today. We'll see high into the mid 60s. Winds out of the northeast around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then for tonight, we'll see a chance for showers here late. Mostly cloudy skies develop low near 53. By Wednesday, a slight chance for rain showers early on. Mostly cloudy, high around 60 degrees. And Thursday, partial sunshine, high of 65. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on AM 860, The Voice.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, BA Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
Remembering what we stand for. At Wisconsin Voices, we remember what we stand for. Check out our movement dedicated to empowering citizens and shaping the future. Engage with us on our website, social media, and podcast to make a difference. Visit wisconsinvoices.org. Explore our events calendar, like and subscribe to us on social media. Listen to recent podcasts and radio, and subscribe to our email and newsletter. Amplify your voice and be a voice today.
860 AM, 106.5 FM. WNOV, The Voice.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Once again, you're here on Be a Voice Radio on WNOV. I'm here in studio with Reverend Lewis of Souls to the Polls, an amazing organization. We got some sad news, really sad news. The singer D'Angelo, originally born Michael Eugene Archer of Richmond, Virginia, has passed away. The singer of some of our favorites, Brown Sugar, man, cruising, man.
How does it feel?
How does it feel? For sure, it's
Yeah.
like a classic in its own right. Man, that was my dude, though.
Yeah, man,
that was my
blew me
dude,
away,
though.
man. I cover a lot of his songs, man. When I do a lot,
Yep.
I cover a lot of his songs. So
Now, when I think of neo soul,
yeah,
I feel like
that's it.
That's he embodied.
Every bit of it.
The sound of neo soul was like just in his veins. Was in his veins.
Yeah.
So that's sad news. And he was only 51, and I do think, it is a reminder. And he died of pancreatic cancer. We were just talking about cancer on the show yesterday, and everybody doing everything you can to take care of yourself and be healthy and stay on top of things. So with that said, rest in power to D'Angelo.
Amen.
That was a good brother.
Yeah.
That was a good brother.
Yes, sir.
So as we switch gears and we highlight the fact that the U.S. Supreme Court is having oral arguments tomorrow, actually. So this is very timely, of the Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and whether that will be deemed constitutional or not will be up to them. This is a case that comes out of Louisiana. Originally, a case was highlighted around the instructions for 2 black congressional districts to be created, I believe. And there was a countersuit to prevent that from happening. And this has made its way all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. Souls to the Polls, the organization that is highlighting and just pushed out a massive email to their base and their supporters and followers maybe yesterday. And when I saw that, I said, man, I connected with Davina over the weekend, and it was very timely once I read that email. And shouts out to Norma on your team that helped to pull that together. This is something that the community needs to know. I believe sometimes any level of government that people don't get the most, it has to be the judicial branch. And the U.S. Supreme Court right now has been making a lot of decisions on a politically leaning way. So a lot of decisions have been coming out, I believe 6-3 because of the makeup of the court and those justices that lean conservative or lean liberal. But this is a court case that can have reverberations across the country, and I really want to thank Souls to the Polls for bringing it to the community's attention. And Reverend Lewis, I know that your organization, you guys are always moving. You guys are always highlighting really important things that are happening. Give us some insight of what pushed the passion on making sure the community was engaged on this.
Well, Norma Ballantyne she's always on top of all the information when it comes to voting, and she sent it to me, so that I could be aware that I could listen in on this tomorrow. And that is certainly important to us because we're always attempting to help people understand that their vote really counts.
That's right.
And this just goes to show you how much it does count, because why would you want to stop people from having access to voting, to bring folks into their world that will look out for their interests? If voting didn't count, why are people working so hard to keep power through the vote out of your hands? I just never understood that, David. I just don't understand why people just don't believe that they do have this power. And in Louisiana, man, I wish I was there, because I'm told that a third of the population is Black in Louisiana.
Of the whole state.
Which is, and they only have 2 districts.
Mind blowing. Yeah.
I mean, it's like instead of going forward, they're going backwards.
That's right.
They're taking us backwards.
Yeah.
And if they can do that in Louisiana, where people are 3/4 of the population, man, here we don't have a chance, and where. That means that the representatives that we have in place right now can be designed out of our legislature.
That's right.
That's what that means. And I don't know if people understand that, but if you don't get to make any decisions about how you live, how you think that's going to work for you? You have to understand. You have to understand that you are the cavalry. I keep telling people, I say, man, the cavalry's not coming. The cavalry's not coming to save you, man. You are the cavalry.
You are the cavalry. Yep.
Stop believing that you're less than, and then you want to put your head in the sand, because that is a devastating way to think. When your heart is broken, you don't have any hope, man. That's devastation, man. Get up and stop believing that, because you do have power. You can express yourself, and we need to let everybody know what's going on all over this country, especially here in Wisconsin, because the thing about Wisconsin is that our white brothers and sisters are split right down the middle, and we always make the difference. How much power do you think that is, man?
Yeah,
that's huge power.
That's huge power. Yeah,
I mean, we make the difference, man. There's been 3 times that I know of for sure that the difference has been made right here in Black Milwaukee. When we had a vote for governor, when Scott Walker was governor, I went to bed and I thought that, man, we lost.
But
I woke up the next morning and
you gave it some time.
They counted those votes in Midtown. That's our headquarters.
That's right.
They counted those votes in Midtown and it was over. Same thing with the presidential election when Biden won Wisconsin. I thought it was all over in Wisconsin, but they counted those votes in Midtown and it was over. Biden won Wisconsin. And then back in the day, when I had COVID, and people really don't understand this one, because this is chess. This is a chess game. When I had COVID, we sued the United States. We sued in the United States Supreme Court. In the United States Supreme Court, made it all the way to the United States Supreme Court. We sued to get the election date changed because of COVID. They didn't change the election date, but guess what happened, David? They counted 35,000 absentee ballots that came in late, and we got a Supreme Court justice who would be fair in making decisions in Wisconsin.
That's right.
Now, that was the first one, and then we got the other 2, and now the court is 4-3. See, don't just expect to have instant gratification. We got to work this like crazy.
That's right.
You know, this is not checkers, it's chess.
That's right.
Every move we make is an important move.
Mhm.
Every step we take is an important step. But we got to do it together. We got to be patient. And, you know, and sometimes, you know, stop telling people, you know, that they don't have any power, man. So, you know, the Bible says, man, be slow to speak, quick to listen, and slow to anger. And that's one thing we just won't do, man. We just talk about stuff that we don't know about. Man, get the information before you start talking. You have power. Get the information. And then listen sometimes, because if you listen, you'll find out how much power you got. And stop being mad about everything, man. We can't operate if we mad.
Yeah.
Man, we got to think things through. So listen, man, we are certainly in position to really control things, man. But you know what? We just don't believe it. And that's the first thing you got to do. You got to believe.
That's right. Man, it's so much at stake when it comes to this case. And folks have a chance to pay attention and listen to the arguments tomorrow. I know typically, you know, folks might be used to listening to a congressional hearing or a city council, county board hearing. But you actually have a chance, and the community has a chance to listen to the oral arguments happening tomorrow. And you can listen online. And I know that your organization has been sharing the information on where people can go. I know they can pay attention to your social media to be able to see those arguments, to hear those oral arguments. But I know you have some information of where exactly people can go.
Yeah, you can access live audio and sometimes video of the U.S. Supreme Court oral arguments via the court's official website. And you have to visit the court's oral arguments page. That's at www.supremecort.gov/oral. What's that? Underscore?
Yeah.
Arguments / And you can just sit right in. You can even view it, or you could just listen to it.
Yeah.
But you know, I'm going to be one that's going to be listening, because I got to stay on top of everything, man. Because look, you know, people, you know, when you hear the term, you know, MAGA, Make America Great Again, you know, to me, that means that you want to go back to a time where I was really suppressed, you know, where I was really in a state of not having any rights. But we still have a 14th and 15th Amendment that we have to protect.
That's right.
You know, I'm a citizen here. You know, stop telling people this ain't your country. This is your country. You built this country. You know, 15th Amendment, that gave us the right. We fought for that. Yeah. And guess what, man? Everybody who is here from another country, they get those rights because we fought for. Women get those rights because we fought for them. All these people who wouldn't have an opportunity, even men who didn't own land couldn't vote before, man.
That's right.
You know, we fought for all these people to get the right to vote, and we're the only ones who don't really respect our right to vote. We don't look at it like it's really something important in our lives. People, man, I hate to say this because it's people died for this, man. I still remember the picture when I was a kid, and I was seeing in Alabama how they was going across that bridge, man. And then they put the dogs on them, they put the hoses on them, and then this one picture where the woman and the guy, they was standing there, and the police had the woman, and he billy clubbed the woman, and they had the guy with his arms all behind, and he had to look at the woman getting beat in the head. Man, that's what these people went through to get this thing to vote, man. And now we don't even believe that it's meaningful. And it is. Look what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to take this opportunity for you to have representation in Louisiana right now. And like you said, if they do it there, they're going to do it everywhere. They won't stop. You know, you don't believe that this guy who is now our leader, and that's just the way it is, you don't believe that he's going to do what he said he's going to do? Are you not convinced yet that whatever he said he's going to do it? you need to wake up.
Yeah.
Because whatever he says he's going to do, he's going to do it.
Do you find it funny or like interesting that a lot of the stuff that our current leader is doing right now, he said he was going to do it, but people didn't believe him.
Yeah.
Or people didn't like, they kind of shoot it on the rug and like,
He
wouldn't
do that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, that's just not paying attention.
Mm.
We tried to blow the horn about this Project 2025.
That's right.
People wouldn't listen.
Mhm.
Now, everything that Project 2025 said it was going to happen is happening right now.
Mhm.
And the only thing that can stop it is them. I mean, that's because we didn't go out and vote.
Mm.
I mean, but you know what? We better go out and vote in 2026.
Right.
I mean, because we
There
got
is
an
a chance to change
opportunity to
things.
stop this.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear people talking about, man, I ain't going out and voting and blah. No, you better understand one thing.
Mhm.
If you don't stand up right now, you won't be able to vote because he's going to find he's looking for some kind of way to stop that happening right now.
Yeah.
And now I just said that. Now there's people out there saying, "Oh, that ain't going to happen." No, it's going to happen if we don't get off our behind.
I appreciate you saying that. And you've been doing this work of engaging folks and educating them and reminding them of the power that they do have. I was just looking at the numbers. You talked about Louisiana in this case, where Black folks represent nearly 33% of the whole entire state. And in Wisconsin, the Black population is 6.2% of the state. Can you imagine? Of being so targeted to suppress your vote because you make up so much of a wealth of the population that they want to restrict the power that your community has, and this dynamic that we're seeing right now that will be in front of the Supreme Court tomorrow, that you all have a chance to listen in on, really much does matter. And just highlights what's really at stake, what's really on the chopping block. And
I'm glad you corrected me because I was going on. I said 3 or 4. No, it's a third.
Mhm.
But that's huge,
it's a third.
man.
Yeah, it's a third.
That's
That's a
huge.
ton of
Man,
people
that's huge.
for a whole entire state.
Yeah.
And the fact that they only had one. They only had one
Who
district.
said that at the same time?
Yeah, and we did. Great minds think alike. They only had one, and the decision
got
after that
two.
was like they should have two, and even just to get two, it sparked a opposition where they said we don't even want you to have two, and now their suit would eliminate the one, right? So this is very serious, and I know folks get busy in their everyday lives. We see that, we get that.
But David, I mean, you won't have an everyday life if you.
There you go. There you go. And I think some people are seeing that as they see more and more extreme things coming out of Washington. Now we have the deployments that are happening in Chicago and Portland, and DC was first. And it is interesting that they're claiming they're doing it to reduce crime. They're claiming they're doing it to reduce the claims Portland is on fire. There's not one fire in sight.
Well,
they showed a photo of one of the secretaries on the roof of a building, trying to look over all of this opposition, and it was
antagonize
6 people. It was 6 people, and one was in a costume.
Chicken outfit.
Yeah, one was in a chicken outfit.
One was in a costume. Like, y'all really playing in our faces like this.
But that's the messaging, though.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to deliver messages,
That's right.
man. We got to tell people, man, they're not the government is not ceasing to work because of they want the Hispanic community who are not citizens to have insurance. That's not what this is about. This is about you. You have to understand this is about this man hating Barack Obama so much that he wants to eliminate anything that he had anything to do with.
Mm-hmm.
Just put it out there, man.
Yeah.
Let's just tell people the truth.
Mm-hmm.
He is so personal with this bigotry that he's willing to sacrifice a whole country, man. People wake up. You cannot have people in place who will not look out for your interests.
That's right.
Who only look out for themselves, who only care about themselves. I don't think this is anything to do with he just wants to do things to people of color. I don't think he wants to do anything for anybody
but himself.
Yeah, and then our brothers and sisters who are white, Caucasian, you need to understand, we got to start working together here, because if we don't, if this continues at this pace, he will be a dictator. He will be a king. You know, there's going to be a No King's Day demonstration on Saturday.
That is coming up, yeah.
He will be a king if you don't understand that you have to stand up and be a part of something that we all can participate in.
That's right.
And that's stopping our democracy from being eliminated. Man, we just started understanding this thing. Man, you were a state representative. We just starting to understand this. You know, they let David up in there. Now David understand what's going on. We just starting to understand this. And now they want to change it. We're just starting to work it. Now they want to change it. Man, we just starting to get souls to the polls really rearing up. And now they want to change it. You know, how are we going to have power if we don't have the most important thing in our lives as far as power? And that's the vote. See, because the vote, I don't care how much money you got, you get one. I don't care how less you got, you get one. It's the great equalizer. And they're willing to take that away from us.
Man, Reverend Lewis is dropping gems. We got to take a break. And when we come back, we'll finish up and continue to hammer home the importance of everything that's going on. Be a Voice Radio, WNOV.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. As Christian nationalism rises to new prominence during President Donald Trump's second term, some faith leaders are warning that religion is being misused for political power. One of them is Reverend Quadricus Driscoll, pastor of Beulah Baptist Church in Alexandria, Virginia, and a lecturer at the George Washington University. He says the Black church must respond to the moment, not by retreating, but by reclaiming its prophetic voice.
We need, in this current age where authoritarianism is rampant, in my opinion, where, again, Christian nationalism is using the language of Christianity and scriptures to cloak and for political power and political gain. I think we need more Black churches to really rally their voices in solidarity with other racialized faith communities.
For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
Here's your updated forecast. Skies will become mostly sunny here for today. We'll see high into the mid 60s. Winds out of the northeast around 10 to 15 miles per hour. And then for tonight, we'll see a chance for showers here late. Mostly cloudy skies develop low near 53. By Wednesday, a slight chance for rain showers early on. Mostly cloudy, high around 60 degrees. And Thursday, partial sunshine, high of 65. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on AM 860, The Voice.
Hey, this is Nisha with Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio, where your voice matters. Catch us Mondays and Tuesdays at 11 a.m. on WNOV 860 AM. Be heard, be informed, be a voice.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
860 AM 106.5 FM. WNOV. The Voice.
Welcome back to Be a Voice Radio on WNOV. I am David Bowen, Executive Director of Wisconsin Voices, and I have the myth, the man, the legend, Reverend Greg Lewis of Souls to the Polls, a powerful organization that has been doing this work for quite some time. And we really were just diving into the implications of people not waking up and the scenarios that we could end up in and that we literally are already in. There has been a existential threat to democracy. And some of the efforts, and we've talked about for sure. And there was some progress being made of people really learning about Project 2025 at the time during the last election cycle in 24, and then they kind of got away from that. But we're seeing all of the results of their long-term plans, and I feel like they got into a room and they divvied up. You work on this, you work on that, you work on this, and created a whole plan to upend the future of our country. And it's up to organizations like ours to step up to do it. As we talk about 2026, and we've had the Election Commission come in, and we had Paulina Gutierrez, and had Terrell Martin, chair of the Election Commission, who is very much highlighting the fact that folks need to have access to real, truthful information. There will be a battle around where people are getting their information from, or what are they believing. Some people thought they were going to get stimulus checks if they voted for the
and they don't
right
come
now.
from the president, they come from us. What's wrong with that's our tax money.
So there's a lot of misinformation, disinformation that will be out there. Just talk about how Souls to the Polls will be on the front lines, championing folks getting access to truthful information.
Well, that's the key for me, man, is information, man. We have to make sure that people, we got to try to win the messaging war, because he got the pulpit that everybody listens to. He come on every day with this, these phrases and all this nonsense that's really not true. And people start to believe that, even though they know it's not true. But the people who believe it the most are the people who are already in his orbit. So that becomes even more of a stinging relationship between black folks and white folks, when these people get so, in a belief that their privilege allows them to be disrespectful to me in the streets, in public, in my face. And that's what's happening right now. So what we're trying to do, man, we just try to get a message that, listen, man, it's not like you're going to make it and I'm not. It's like we're all in the same boat.
That's right.
We're not going to make it together.
Mm-hmm.
Now you think that he's going to give you something and take something away from me? Well, no, that's not true. He's going to take something from me, all right, but he's taking it from you also. And that's the messaging we got to get out here, man. It's not, we have to stop this race thing has got to stop, man. It's just so ignorant. It's just so bad. I mean, people need to really study how this race thing got started. It didn't really become an issue of color until they started going into Africa, David. Then it became, when they found all that loot in Africa, then the race was against us. Before, it was religion, it was where you lived, and all those kind of things in the early years of life here in the world. But then when it became, quite obvious that all the riches are here, they wanted them all, and they went and got them all. And now they made sure that people understood that I'm treating you bad because you deserve it. What did that Dr. McGrew called it? Cognitive dissonance. I got to make scenarios for the people to help them understand why I treat you this way. So I got to make up things. You're lazy. You're syphilis. You don't want anything. I got to create those scenarios so that the folks who are in my corner can understand why I am so viciously treating you. She called it cognitive dissonance, but that's what's happening with us right now, man. He's doing it to us right in our face right now, David. He said these people are animals. He's calling, the cities that are urban areas where mainly black people live, he's calling them you know, that whole thing, the dong holes in my world. But you know what you know the other word for it, though, right? He's calling it. So he's having people in these suburban areas really believe that we deserve to get treated this way. But I can guarantee you that my mother doesn't deserve to get treated this way.
That's right.
I don't deserve to get treated this way. I'm not saying that we don't have crime, but they have crime too, David. Some people say they got just as much crime as we do.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
They have the bully pulpit delivering a message that is putting us in a position to be less than. And we have to stop believing that, and we have to talk to each other because we got the same problems. Look at housing.
Give me, you know, we're running out of time, but you know, there are some folks that are tired of fighting. They're tired of protesting. They're tired of standing up. What do you say to those folks as someone who has been involved in this work for quite some time about the value of resistance, the value of pushing back?
Well, I got to tell you, you know, you can be tired all you want to be, but you got to keep it moving. I mean, look, we like The Walking Dead now, man, and dying ain't much of a living, David.
That's right.
How you know that ain't much of a living? You got to wake up.
That's right.
You got to stand up. You just can't get steamrolled. At least if you stand up, you can get out the way. But if you just lay there, you're gonna get rolled over.
There you go. There you go. Reverend Lewis has dropped so many gems in the studio today. I really appreciate his presence and the work of Souls to the Polls. And
you're too kind. You're too kind.
You all have an opportunity to continue to be engaged and involved. Supreme Court arguments start tomorrow. Make sure you get in tune, and we will continue to talk about it next week with some of our contacts on the national level with Black Voters Matter. In the meantime, in between time, hope y'all will be good, be safe, and be careful.